Adam Ankuda here with a little all-out blitz week 5 edition as we go over some waiver wire guys you want to look at the quarterback, running back, and receiver position, some defenses to stream, some big injuries, and much more. So let's dive right in with the quarterbacks, and Mitchell Trubisky following that 6-touchdown performance out against the Bucs gets our #1 spot. The guy was dynamic. He passed the ball, rushed the ball, hit all of his big receivers in Burton and Cohen and Howard and Robinson and Gabriel. Trubisky sure seems like he's taking that next step in the Matt Nagy offense. I love what I see. I'd certainly grab him and feel comfortable playing him in the right matchup moving forward. On the other end of the field is Jameis Winston, who simply put was going to have plenty of opportunity to throw the ball this season with how bad that Buccaneers defense is. He should be starting now moving forward with Ryan Fitzpatrick likely headed to the bench. So for me, Jameis Winston is a solid pickup in all formats where you're looking for a bye week fill-in quarterback or against the right defense on the other end of the field. At the running back position, we told you last week that Sony Michel was ready to take the reins of the Pats leading back. And what did he do? On 100 yards and own those carries. Yes, James White had a rushing touchdown, but Michel went over 100 yards, scored himself. With a short week against a very bad Colts defense, expect another big performance from Sony Michel here. We're very bullish on him the rest of the way, and in the long term for the Patriots as well. So for those in keeper leagues, Michel is certainly one to grab. Then there's Mike Davis, who started for the injured Chris Carson on Sunday and scored 2 touchdowns, rushed for over 100 yards, and now appears to be headed for a committee job along with Rashad Penny and Chris Carson when he's back healthy, according to Pete Carroll. Davis is certainly one to grab in case Carson misses another game, but you can't expect this consistent performance week in and week out. And then there's Nyheim Hines, a talented rookie out of NC State and a Colts running back now. He contributed with 2 touchdowns this past weekend in their loss to the Texans. He should be in line for many more carries and receptions moving forward because the Colts are going to be playing from behind because of their poor defense. Hines is a great PPR running back as a flex play, especially. At the receiver position, you have a ton of value this week. You have Taylor Gabriel, Dante Moncrief, Dede Westbrook, Kike Coutee, Tyrod Taylor, and of course the returning Julian Edelman, whose last game was in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. He missed last season with an injury, first 4 games of the season with the suspension. But if you remember this catch, you know how his chemistry is with Tom Brady. Expect him to pick up where he left off in this Super Bowl with Brady, especially if Gronk is forced to miss their Thursday night game against the Colts. You then have Dede Westbrook, who was explosive in college at Oklahoma and has been nothing short of explosive for the Jaguars this season. Long touchdowns against the Patriots this season, also burst out against the Jets this past weekend. I love Westbrook as a wide receiver 3 or a flex play moving forward as Bortles continues to improve in that offense. And then there's Taylor, who's more of a stash guy for me, more than a wide receiver 3 or even a flex. I think he's developed that chemistry with Marcus Mariota. 7 catches, 77 yards this past week in their upset against the Eagles. I like him as a stash play moving forward. And then there are some defenses to target. You have that Titans defense that just shut down the Eagles and has played very well all season, including that great game against the Jaguars going up against Josh Allen and the Bills. I think they'll dominate. You then have the Falcons and the Cardinals going, not the Falcons, the 49ers and the Cardinals going up against each other this week. I like both defenses against those quarterbacks, CJ Beathard and Josh Rosen. I think you might actually see some defensive touchdowns in that game, so I like both. And then you have the Bengals. Sneaky play here. Remember, the Dolphins are not great offensively. They just are not. They proved that in their loss to the Patriots this past weekend. So despite the fact that the Bengals were lit up by the Falcons this weekend, I actually like them this week in my leagues. Then in terms of injuries, Earl Thomas is most likely lost for the season. You could also expect Chris Carson to be week to week, according to Coach Pete Carroll. Their teammate Will Dissly is probably out for the season with an injury. So again, if you were looking to stream him at tight end, you'll have to go somewhere else. O.J. Howard, another tight end, out 2 to 4 weeks for the Bucs. Will Fuller, guy always produces when he's on the field. The problem is he's never on the field. He's always hurt. Check him and his status later in the week before inserting him in your lineups. And Geronimo Allison is week to week with a concussion for the Packers. So just keep an eye on him and what is going to go on with that Packers receiving core with Randall Cobb also banged up. And remember, Tuesday mornings, we're going to have an all-new show for you. The Morning Drive, hosted by myself, 9:30 Eastern Time. We'll go through all these guys. We'll talk waiver wire. We'll talk trade targets, talk trade analysis. We'll give a little early look at the betting lines for both college and pro. It's all interactive all the time. You drop the questions into our comment section. It's free on the Phantom page. So for all you users out there that have the fantasy questions, you come to me on the Morning Drive, debuting tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. We'll see you then. Have a great week.